Everybody, and welcome to Rockin' Friday. That's right, it's Ocean's Pit, little show about big things Monday through Friday at noon. And I hope you guys are having a great day today and you're ready for a great weekend, because what you're supposed to do is go out and support local establishments and live entertainment. And that's what it's about. This is Ocean's Pit, little show about big things. Check the website, TonyOceanMusic.com. Give us a call at 847-769-8609 to book a show. Every show is dedicated to the first responders, the men and women in the military, and our veterans who fought for our country. But mostly it's dedicated to you wonderful people like you. Now, you know the format. Monday, I'm solo. Tuesday and Thursday, my co-host Carol Brandolino. And Wednesday and Friday, we bring on guests of all kinds. And we're bringing back a good friend of ours, and he's in town, and he's doing his stuff, man. Rob Steffen, of course, he fronts the band Generations. And we're going to talk about the summer festivals. We're going to talk about the Illinois Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We're going to talk about the original Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We're going to talk music and more. He's going to be coming on at about 12:25, right after the Ace Hardware weather. And it's showtime. So let's go to work, Ocean's Pit style. Woo! Thank you, our boys from Seventh Heaven, for that great intro. Hi, guys. It's Ocean's Pit. I hope you guys are having a great day. Thank God it's Friday. The weekend is starting. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to cover. But before we do that, let's get right to our sponsor, number one, JRC Ace Hardware, baby. Helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. $20 off any grill purchase just by saying grill your ace off. That's it. You get $20 off any grill purchase, folks. They got a lot of great things going on over there. Looking to spice up that food on the grill? Check out the spices, rubs, and sauces to add flavor to your barbecue feast. Trending now is the TikTok Meat Church, Trangier, and Danny O's. They have them all. And if you didn't tune up that lawnmower, you're waiting too long. Time to do it now. $105 plus parts. Get that lawnmower tuned up. They are your neighborhood powerhouse. And that is JRC Ace Hardware. Buy local, shop local, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. With their locations in Norwich, Des Plaines, Warrenville, Evergreen Park, Fox River Grove, Mesa, Arizona, Richmond, Illinois, and the new one coming in the end of October to Elmwood Park, Illinois. That's JRC Ace Hardware. Buy local, shop local. Oh, yeah. Now, and don't forget, coming up again, the 4th annual Chicago Music Cruise. We're so excited. It's not only a vacation, but it's a tradition. Seventh Heaven's been doing it for over 20 years. And this is my 4th year with Seventh Heaven. We did 2 last year, and we're ready for the next one. January 10th through January 17th, 2027. We're going back on the Royal Caribbean on a brand new ship called the Star of the Seas. This is about as big as the Icon. This is one of their biggest ships. This is going to be a lot of fun. Tony Ocean and the main event band, and boys, Seventh Heaven. That's right. Again, it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to start off in Florida, Coco Cay, Bahamas, St. Martin, St. Thomas. So it's very simple. All you got to do is go to Chicago Music Cruise, put in Tony Ocean. That's where you want to be. Or better yet, pick up the phone and talk to a live person. That's Mary Grievous from NTD Vacations. She'll give you all the details. 630-688-1725. Call Mary and get your vacation booked. Also, if you're looking for some great real estate, Mary's the girl for you. That's NTD Vacation, Chicago Music Cruise. All right, I'm in a good mood today. It's Friday. Johnny Vegas III is in the house. Lake Geneva, Ricky, Lilia, how are you doing? Happy Friday to everybody. I want to thank everybody that showed up to Moretti's at Edison Park last night. Now, they were predicting rain, And we went on to 6 o'clock, me and Jumpin' Jerry Jams. And, of course, we made it till about 8:15. At 8 o'clock, it started sprinkling a little bit. We didn't know. 8:15, it came down. The manager came out and said, guys, let's call it. And thank God that Jerry got a lot of the stuff covered. Our shoes got wet, the pants got wet, but everything else was good. So thank you, Jerry Jams, for that hustle, but everybody that came out last night. A lot of fun. We're going to continue the party this weekend. Tonight, Chicago Prime Steakhouse in Schaumburg with Daryl Armenstad. That's an 8 o'clock hit. Tomorrow, we'll be at Ron Onesti's Club Arcada Speakeasy in St. Charles with the main event band. That's at 8:30 it. Go to oshows.com and get your tickets. It's going to be a lot of fun. And Sunday, we're back to Lake Geneva, Wisconsin at the beautiful Getaway Restaurant. Of course, at the French Country Inn, right there outside on the patio, right by the water. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's boat hub. Oh, so they go from, you know how you go to the bar to bar, and you get the bus takes you off, and the bar crawl, whatever you want to call it. Well, this is the boat crawl. All the boats show up at the different bars, and they have a couple cocktails, and they move, and they're raising money for cancer. So it's a good cause. That show's going to start this Sunday, 5:30. Beautiful Lake Geneva. The weather's going to be looking good. So thank you guys for everybody showing up last night. It was a great time, except for the rain. But we still got at least most of the show in, because we were done. We're always supposed to play till 9. All right. So we got a lot of things going on. Taste of Chicago. I don't know if I haven't been to the Taste since we played there, and that had to be in 2000 or 2000. I forgot when it was the last time we were there, but I remember going to 1981 and seeing Cheap Trick at Chicago Fest. Sinatra was at Chicago Fest. I remember I didn't see the concert, but I guess Iron Maiden was playing there, if I got this right, and the band, a local band called Bohemia, was playing. They're more like a punk new wave band opening up for Iron Maiden. Wasn't a good match. They were throwing beer bottles at him and shit. Get off the stage. So it was not a good sight. I don't even think they played 2 songs before they exited. And I remember Chicago Fest with Cheap Trick, but Pete Comida was the new bass player because Tom Peterson left. And Pete wasn't with them a long time. He was originally with the Thumbs and a lot of great bands, but it was just a great experience. Buddy, how you doing? Buddy's in the news today. Buddy, congratulations. 25 years at Weigel Manufacturing. My good buddy, 25 years to stay at any job these days is a tough one. And, Buddy, congratulations to 25 years. The Sox got swept. You know, Tuesday we were doing the Sox game. We opened the game. Of course, the White Sox against the Red Sox, and Tony Ocean and the main event band was there to kick off the game. Of course, they lost that game 8-1, but the Sox got swept by the Red Sox. My Yankees finally won yesterday. Thank God for that. Susan Nelson, Angelo Packy, Dennis, Lake Geneva, buddy. What's going on, everybody? Yeah, so excited. Let's talk. Also, today is July 10th, and you know what that means? National French Fry Day. Free French fries at McDonald's, if I heard this right, for National French Fries Day. So, a little past after lunch, go get some French fries. I don't know the whole details, but that's what it is. National French Fry Day. Okay, we're going to start off with a couple things called pieces of shit. We can do that, or I think that's a great way to use, because there's no way to describe these people. And I'm going to tell you, I know people, oh, Tony, you're doing it again, and I'm going to do it again. First, we're going to start off with a show called The View, if that's what you want to call it. I've never seen a show so miserable. And you got a lady named Whoopi, you got a lady named Joy, and you got a lady named Sunny. 3 happy words for a most miserable show there is. Oh, my God. One-sided. That's all they talk about. Rip, 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 rip our country. Rip, 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 rip our president. Okay, I got it. You don't like the guy. But just, all right, let it alone. We know you don't like him. Does it got to be every show? Holy cow. Anyway, so you hear what we mentioned it Thursday on Toxic Thursday with Carol Brandolino briefly. One of the panelists or the co-hosts, whatever you want to call him, Sonny Houston. Sonny Houston She says, and and I didn't, like I said, I don't watch the show, but she said she feels uncomfortable and unsafe. I'm doing the same thing. You're right, Boyd. Just a couple of seconds. Because I don't say stuff like this. Come on. I'm not saying that she feels, I know I make my point and I made my stuff and I got that and I appreciate your comments. But she says that she feels uncomfortable when she goes into a neighborhood when she sees a bunch of American flags hanging from their homes, hanging from their businesses. This lady's a whack job. The THS syndrome is exactly what they have. We're talking about America here. We're not talking about an individual. We're talking about the United States of America, where this lady, Sonny Houston, and Joy Blowhard, and Whoopi, and whoever else is on that show, this is how they make millions of dollars earning their money on their show, right? They make a lot of money. And they're making it in the United States of America. They're making it here. And they feel uncomfortable when I see a neighborhood of American flags. You got to be kidding me. What? This is the American flag. I am proud to be an American. So should you. All of us. We live in this country. If you don't like it, leave. 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 That's simple. I don't even know how that show stays on the air. It's a joke. All right. I ranted. I'm done with that. Here's another piece of garbage. See the governor of New York City, Mamdani? All right. New York was a great city. New York Yankees, culture, Broadway. If you can't make it there, you can't make it anywhere. You know the song, New York, New York, Frank Sinatra. But he comes out, he puts out the immigration map of all the different people that live and the different nationalities and different cultures. And they just forget, oops, just don't put Little Italy on that map at all. Just, it doesn't exist. It's not there. We're talking about Little Italy, New York City, Mott Street, Mulberry Street, the Italian culture, the great food, the Italian fests. It's a beautiful place if you go down to New York. It's fantastic. Great restaurants. It just has a lot of history and a lot of, you know what it's hurting? The businesses. The businesses in that area, according to business owners, are losing money because people don't even know about Little Italy. In New York. I've been in Little Italy many times. I've performed at the St. Gennaro Fest. I performed in Little Italy. It's a disgrace to the Italian community. It's disgrace to the people who own businesses, whether they're Italian or not. This has to stop. You know what? You are the governor of that state. The whole state. Every little neighborhood, every little borough, every little street, whatever. How can you do that? It's so disrespectful to those people that work their asses off on that strip, on that street, and all these restaurants and establishments there. They're hurting business. It's a disgrace, and it's disrespectful what they're doing. So what's next? You're going to go to San Diego, that Little Italy? You're going to go to Chicago and ruin that Little Italy? What's left of it? Thank God for Ron Onesti keeping it going. They already took away the other fest we had. Thank God we still got Taylor Street Fest, which, by the way, will be there headlining Friday night, August 13th. They took away the Oakley Italian Fest. They took away the statues of Columbus. Come on. I had a rat, guys. Sorry, I had a rat, but it is what it is. He's got to go. He's got to go. You are the governor, just like our governor. He's got to go. I mean, but people keep voting for this guy, and I don't know. It's just disrespectful for people that work very hard, the men and women that work real hard on that whole area there in Little Italy. It's beautiful. It's not as big as it used to be, A lot of history there, good and bad, but still, there's history. There's bad in every state, every city. Chicago, Al Capone, they still talk about that. When you leave the country and you say you're from Chicago, they go bang bang. I mean, Capone was how many years ago? Anyway, I thought I'd get that off my chest. Anyway, I want to thank my good buddy Jack Vayner Landscaping. They are monthly maintenance programs, bush trimming, spring, fall cleanup. They do it all for your garden, folks, and your lawn. Call Jack Vayner Landscaping. Ask for Tommy at 847-432-5266 and tell him Tony O sent you. And don't forget Armando Supermarkets. Buy local, shop local, 925 Liberty Street in Elgin, Illinois. Meats, groceries, prepared food, rotisserie chicken, and more. That's Armando Supermarkets. How about Trico Hair Experts for all you guys looking for hair? They're the guys to do it. Anthony and Carmela Trico in Rosemont, Illinois. And last but not least, Crash Champions Collision Auto Repair for all your collision and auto needs. CrashChampions.com. Just ask for Michael. Tell him Tony O sent you. All right. So, and it's just nuts. It's crazy what's going on. I try. Alderman Dick say it. I am in a Boyd, I am in a good mood, brother, because I get to see you every day. I like Boyd because he always lets it out. See, that's what I think about people, which I wish everybody was like me, like the way sometimes, or even like Boyd, or people who speak. They should speak their minds. Don't you wish we could have people that when you meet them for the very first time, this is what it is. There's no bullshit. There's no fake handshake. There's no roll of the eyes. There's no when the guy walks away, you talk about him behind his back. Just tell it like it is, right? Tell it like it is. I've been doing that my whole life, good and bad. And that's why I think why you guys watch this show. But anyway, yeah. Russia, the country of Russia will turn off all the power, electricity at night. So maybe they can get some more births going, I guess, because a lot of kids aren't being born. I guess people aren't doing the dirty at night because they want some kids there in Russia. So let's shut off all the power. So maybe, and all electricity, the heat, let's shut everything off. So maybe they'll make some babies. And get some more kids in Russia. Because I know, like in Europe, a lot of places they're not having kids anymore. I know, like in Italy, a lot of people, the younger generation, are not having kids so much. They're having pets. Russia. How about Turkey again? Now, I don't know. Every country has their own thing, and they can do whatever they want. It's their country. They're blocked an American LGBTQA. I'm sorry if I don't pronounce that all right, but there's, when you go on a cruise, you go on different stops, different ports when you go on a cruise ship. And this is a cruise ship that they rented out, whatever they're on, and they're supposed to stop at different ports. And one of the ports was Turkey. And they would not let that boat dock in some of these ports in Turkey because of, they are saying, mortal standards and family issues that they don't want them docking there. I think it's really unfair, but it's their country. They can do whatever they want, unfortunately. This is stuff that you hear about all the time, which is crazy. You talk about politicians. If you're crusty charm, that keeps me coming. And your honesty is what I love about you, Boyd. All right, so politicians. They make a lot of money, right? And they got, like, I don't know what they make for life after they're not in office. Look, Bill Clinton collected, listen to this. I know every president writes his book and does whatever he does. For his memoirs, he got $12 million. $12 million. Don't we know all of his history already? I mean, it's everywhere. So, $12 million. Sheesh. To read about Bill Clinton, which we don't know already. I promise I never had any affair with that woman. I mentioned this a couple of times. Wouldn't it be, because we know politicians, no matter what side you're on, everybody says they're always lying. There's nothing good that comes out of politicians. That's not necessarily true. I know some good politicians, and they do very well. But wouldn't it be weird? Wouldn't it have been weird if Bill Clinton, when they asked him, did you ever have these affairs? And he said, hello, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't like, like Nixon. I am not a crook. No. If they would have had, imagine if Bill Clinton would have said, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, the United States. This is your president speaking. Yes, I had intercourse with this woman. I did it. Do you imagine the respect he would have got? Of course, he would have got disrespect towards his wife. I got it. And moral thing is being president of the United States. I got it. But imagine if he would have just came out and said, I'm so sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I screwed up. I did have intercourse with that lady. What would have happened? You would have definitely gave the guy a little bit more respect. He screwed up. But imagine somebody actually being honest like that. Great seeing you guys, Robert, and everybody. Thank you. And Ron, thank you. At least you made it to the end of the show, till 8:15, till it rained. Kathy, how are you doing? David, how are you doing? Coming up in about 5 minutes, folks, Rob, Stefan Yap, and the band Generations. They're a great band out of Chicago. They're doing a lot of good stuff. You know what we got coming up? Let's show you our dates. Besides the dates we already told about, here's some good ones. Next Tuesday, we'll be at the Hollywood Casino in Aurora. On the 14th, 16th, we'll be at Venuti's in Addison. Main event band on the 18th will be at Taverna on Division in Melrose Park. The 22nd will be at Pronto's in Glendale Heights. The 23rd will be at Positano's in Oak Brook with Jerry Jams and Lisa P. On the 24th, they're doing the concert in the park in Oak Brook with the main event band. The 25th will be at Bellagio in Roselle. 29th at Rosario's in Roselle. The 30th of July will be at Village Pub in North Riverside. And we'll be at Niles Fest on July 31st with Ocean's Rat Pack. And, of course, Tony Ocean, the main event band at Mars Resort in Lake Geneva on August 22nd. And headlining Friday night, August 13th, Taylor Street, the great festival, Pasta Vino Festival, produced, of course, and organized by the great Ron Onesti, will be with the main event band headlining Friday night. The Bronx Wanderers are in town on Saturday and Sunday. Vince Amore, Miles Green, Nick Hodges, a lot of great entertainers from Chicago will be playing that fest, and I love it. It's one of my favorite fests, so I hope you guys come out. All right, so, yeah, crazy stuff. It's one of those days. Watching the grandkids today. NASA is recruiting the 4 volunteers to spend a full year inside a stimulated space habitat in the Johnson Space Center in Houston, living and working under isolation conditions that mimic both the moon and Mars. Do you ever imagine you volunteering that? I don't know if I ever wanted to go to the moon. But that would be kind of cool. Imagine getting picked. They're looking for 4 volunteers to go away for a year. That would be very cool. I'd like to talk to somebody that's been on that kind of trip because that would be a lot of fun. And also Wally Funk, the aviation pioneer, was the oldest woman to travel into space, dies at the age of 87 years old. We lost speaking of rock and roll, we lost one of the great female singers. And I have 2 favorite rock female singers. 2. There's a lot of great ones out there, and they all do pretty good at what they do. But my 2 favorites, of course, and we opened for Patti Smythe twice. Of course, some Scandal and some of her solo work. She's one of the great female voices. She was almost a singer in Van Halen, too. Eddie Van Halen reached out to her after Hagar left, and of course she turned it down. But that would have been interesting to see a woman backing Van Halen. And then, of course, she just passed away, the great Bonnie Tyler. I love that raspy voice. She just passed away. What a great singer. She had Lost in France, It's a Heartache, Holding Out for a Hero, Total Eclipse of the Heart. She had a lot of other great songs. I think she was more popular in Europe than she was here in the United States, but fantastic. And of course, we lost the great Bonnie Tyler, and I guess we already talked about that already. All right, it's time for the JRC Ace Hardware weather report for today, Friday, July 10th. That's right, folks. The weather for today, it's 80 degrees, 67% humidity, 6-mile-an-hour winds. The high today will be 80 degrees at about 4 o'clock. It's 80 right now. It's sunny and looks like there's no rain in the forecast for today. So get out and enjoy the sun and enjoy the outdoor activities. Get out of the house. Go support some live bands and festivals and all that good stuff. That's brought to you by JRC Ace Hardware. Buy local, shop local, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. JRC Ace Hardware. All right. Our guest coming up, waiting in the green room. He's been on the show before. He fronts a band called Generations, and the name sets itself of what kind of music they do from all types of generations of music. They're going to be headlining July 19th. They'll be at the Taste of Highwood. On the 18th, the 15th of August, they'll be at Roberts West Side in Forest Park. On September 26th, they'll be at Dirty Nelly's. And then they got a big fundraiser coming up on October 23rd for the Music Will Foundation. And to be announced, the location, and Rob will talk a little bit more about it. Rob is also one of the members working for the Illinois Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the museum in beautiful Joliet, however you want to call it. So he's been on the show before, and let's get him on and see what Robert is doing.
Hello, Tony.
Let's see. There he is. Hold on. Bam. Bingo.
Right at you, Tony.
Robert, how are you doing, buddy?
Good. How about yourself?
Hey, every day above ground is a good day, brother. We're having a good time. We're out here. We love music. We have you guys on. Generations, a great band in the city of Chicago. You got a lot of stuff going on. Rob, with your band, obviously a lot of bands love the summer festivals.
We do.
And there's so many great ones. I think we got 13 this year. And I know, like my friends from Seventh Heaven, I think they lost like 3 in a row because this weather has been brutal. Brutal. Right?
Tony,
do you have a favorite fest?
We just played the Belmont Sheffield Fest. Have you guys played that, Tony? That was incredible.
We did that 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God! Special cool events. I got in through Joey DeMarco. He's our promoter and booking agent. He got us in there. He got us into the Taste of Highwood. So keep our fingers crossed about the weather. You mentioned the weather, but we are the headlining band for the Taste of Highwood. We go on the 19th of July at 5:15, and we're going to come up with a killer set. You should come out if you're not performing.
I would love to, but when you work Wednesday through Sunday and you got Mondays and Tuesdays off, it's a little difficult. I haven't seen a live concert in a long time and seen other acts, which is I feel bad about that, but it's good that you guys are still going out there. And
we are.
Now the summer festivals, obviously a lot of the bands are there, a lot of people there to see the band, but what's also nice about these festivals, you have an in crowd already, which is good. And if you guys you have your own following, you also have that. So that's a plus too. Out of all is there anything you don't like about playing the festivals?
Well, you brought it up. It's the weather. It's the predictability. Like the day that we played the Belmont Sheffield Festival, we were going on at 12:30. It stopped raining at 10:30. There was torrential downpours. They were actually taking squeegees to the stage before we got on, and we got on. All of a sudden, the sun came out. It was a great day. So I think that's the only thing that I could, like, what do you do? But like Bongo Mike, who's in our band, always tells me, he says, Rob, you can't control the weather. It is what it is. No. And so everything else is awesome. You got a built-in crowd, like you said. We bring in all our fans from the Generations. They came out to the Belmont Sheffield. I got called last night by a childhood friend of mine, Eva. Eva calls me. All these people from my grade school to see us at the Taste of Highwood. The word got out, and all of a sudden, all these people want to see me. And it's a festival. They have food there. They have food trucks. They have other bands, and you guys all have to come up. If anybody from this show comes up to me at that show, I will give them something special from the Generations. So come up, say, I am a fan of the Tony Ocean podcast. Maybe you'll even get
Ocean's Pit.
the Ocean's Pit. Yes, the Ocean's Pit. You say the Ocean's Pit to me, you bring me aside, and I may have a signed vinyl album for you. First person that comes up to me and
And you're
says that,
talking
I'll
about
have,
albums, folks.
yeah,
We're
vinyl
talking
album.
about albums, which, by the way, I was mentioning this on the show because we had Marty on from M&R Rush, which was a band that
Great
was
band.
pretty big in Chicago. They just came out with a five song EP, and tonight there's their meet and greet at the Rockin' Ravioli. You got a book out. Anyway, they're saying that the vinyl sales are making millions of dollars in the last 10, 15 years. More people are buying vinyl.
Yeah, coming back.
Because let's be honest, Rob, nothing's better than dropping that needle on that record to hearing that compared to those CDs and all the other crap.
Right.
Now the sound is the best there. With the festivals you do. Now, when you do festival shows, is it different sets than when you guys do your theater shows or another type of show that's not festival? It's different.
Well, typically it's either an hour and 45 minutes. So it's not the full 2 hour set that we normally do. But like, you know, what we're doing at the Taste of Highwood, we got an hour and 45 minutes. It's like being at a concert. And it's a high energy, type show. Loretta has been out there, and she is a big fan of yours and mine, and she actually sang
Love
with
Loretta.
the band.
Fantastic.
Don't we love Loretta? She sang with our band. She sang a Joan Jett. She was in a great Joan Jett tribute band. So she sang "I Love Rock and Roll" at one of our at our shows. So you just have to come out, feel the energy. It is different than, like you said, the theater. When we played the Arcada or we played the Des Plaines Theater, different vibe, as well as when we played Dirty Nellies, those type of things. So, but they're all good. I'm so blessed to have the musicians I have. It's just such an honor to play with them. They are such badass musicians. I'm just totally humbled and blessed.
Well, it seems like you love what you do with your band and for what you do. And a lot of people seem to enjoy Generations. To make sure you guys go out and check those out. Yes, Loretta's fantastic. I've seen her do Joan Jett, and she's fan. I hope she gets back into it.
Well, I have a question for
all
you.
All right, I think I might have mentioned.
I have a question for you. Since you're a guy who's in the know of the Chicago market scene and has been in the know for all these years, what do you miss about like some of the legendary rooms such as Thirsty Whale, Haymakers, Tuts, that are no longer around? What do you miss about that?
I used to miss the excitement because back then, most of the bands at that time, you were playing original music. You weren't doing a lot of covers, at least the bands I weren't in, unless I did the Dream Police. And you're excited because people are coming to see that project. They're coming to hear those original songs. You weren't like a jukebox like you have to be now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was just a camaraderie of everybody that would meet, whether it's Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. And some of those bands coming up were like locals and became huge. You kind of miss that. You got to see them becoming, like when I seen the Smashing Pumpkins before they were real famous, and then or Survivor before, right. Chevy Knights, their Premonition record, their second one, before Eye of the Tiger came, or seeing some of the bands that come back, like what Ron Onesti's doing now, bringing back some of the older bands that you don't get to see anywhere else. But I got to see Badfinger there, and I got to see a lot of great bands there. So I do miss that, the excitement of being a youth, being young, you know what I mean? And staying out with the stamp on your hand and going to work the next day, and you still had that stamp on your hand. That's what I miss about these great places, and it's it's sad that they're not there no more.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for asking.
I would go there all the time. Of course.
I appreciate it. Let me ask you this now. I think I might have asked you last time you were on, but I got to ask again.
Of course.
There's a set list. You're doing the show. You're going down the list. All right, here comes that stupid song again that we have to do. Come on, there's got to be one that don't feel like it, but you have to because the audience just loves it.
Well,
Uh-oh.
I
Yeah.
would say that in our set list, it's just so high energy, and it's like back to back to back. We do the first three, four songs. We take a break. We talk to the audience, do another three, four
Yeah.
songs. Everything that I'm
Yeah.
playing and that the band's playing, yeah, I mean, you could pick one out or whatever, but the majority of the set is just it's spot on. It's relevant to what people want to hear. I will tell you this, that typically if you have an audience at a bar, as an example, or even a festival, they are moving from the first note to the last note. They are
Yes.
singing with you, they're clapping, they're cheering, they're dancing. I don't think that our set list, because it's all 70s and 80s classic rock sprinkled in with a few 60s, few 90s. People are totally engaged and they don't look away. It's not like people are talking to one another at a
Yeah.
bar and they don't hear you. They are totally engaged. They want to see. Sometimes we have some guest musicians, and they want to know, oh my God, that person did a great job on that song. So I don't really get that, hey, we have to do this song again. Oh, what a bummer. I really enjoy all the songs that we put, and
Yeah.
I vet them through different musicians in the band as well.
Well, it's a great answer. That's a safe answer, which I like. I mean, people ask me to do That's Amore, drives me crazy. Don't Stop Believing drives me crazy, but the audience just loves it. And you got to think about this, Rob. Do you imagine, okay, bands like us who do these songs and we do them at whatever, how many shows, whatever. But do you imagine being like Shadows of the Night with Jimmy Sands,
Mm.
was a great band at the time when they came out, and most people only know Gloria. So you're sitting there for 90 minutes until you finally hear Gloria. And or like, the Stones, when they got to think Satisfaction, they got to go, oh my God, you know what I mean? But it's amazing that people just love these songs, and some of these older artists that because of the festivals and because of Ron Onesti and the Lyric Theater and different other theaters that are bringing concerts, some of these older generations of entertainers can still come out and we can get a chance to see these great bands. Todd Rundgren, 2 nights at the Arcada. That was fantastic. We were upstairs. Todd was downstairs. So that's kind of cool. What's your favorite song on your list? What's your favorite song on your list?
Every time every time I play it, it just energizes me. It is my walk-up song. So if you said to me, "Hey Rob, you're going to give a keynote speech to the audience of your family and friends, and what is that walk-up song as you're getting on the stage through the PA system?" It is none other than "Rock and Roll" by Led Zeppelin.
Classic. You gotta love it. You
People
gotta
are
love it.
blown away. So what we do differently is we do Baba O'Reilly right into Rock and Roll, and people are just cheering. Right, that's the last song that we play typically in our set, and the transition from Baba O'Reilly into Rock and Roll, people are just blown away. Actually, the song before that we do 3 in a row: Barracuda by Heart, Baba O'Reilly, and Rock and Roll. So it ends in a high punch.
Great classic rock by some great bands. The Who, Zeppelin, and Heart back to back. You can't beat that.
No.
Rob, who picks the songs? How do you guys do that? Do you all sit around and go, hey guys, I got an idea. I want to do this April Wine tune, or I want to do this Journey tune. Does everybody have to agree on it to do it?
Typically, what I'll do is I'll confer with Kate Payton, who is our lead vocalist, because if she can't sing it, we can't play it. I thought of a song yesterday that was from Simple Minds. Don't You Forget About Me. Great song.
Yeah.
It's not in a
Yeah.
range, so we substituted a different song for one of our future gigs. I talked to her about things. I talked to our keyboardist about things. I talked to our guitarist. Usually I get feedback from everybody, and we share lists, or we have shared lists of what we feel the audience will be engaged in. That's what it's all about, Tony. It's not about, because you had brought up a good point earlier. It's not about me. It's not about any of the, do we like to play them? Yeah, but it's about the audience. And once you get that in your mind, and you're intentional about that, then more and more people will come out to see you. And so, I feel really good about that. And I did have another, and we do play Beatles from time to time, so we'll do a Beatles song. But
Okay.
if you were to think about, now I'm asking you a question. So if you were to
Yeah.
think about if the Rat Pack had covered a Beatles song during the heyday, what track would they have covered?
Well, I'm going to tell you, out of the three members of the Rat Pack, the original Rat Pack, I mean, there was Peter Lawford, who didn't sing. Joey Bishop was the comic. Sammy Davis didn't cover it. Dean Martin didn't cover it. But Frank Sinatra did cover one Beatles song. He said it was written by John Lennon and Paul McCartney, which was not. You said that live on his show. It was written by George Harrison, of course, and he did the song Something by George
Oh,
Harrison.
yeah.
So Sinatra does
Yeah.
cover the song Something. Uh, but very cool. Good question. I like that.
Yeah. Sure.
What you said about the jukebox, to be a great band, a festival band these days, or a theater band, if you're not original, if you don't have your own hits or anything, you got to be a jukebox. And I think
Mhm.
that's so important. And there is bands sometimes that they want to play their own B-sides of their favorite songs.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. You might be able to throw one in because it sounds
Yes.
really cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Throw an
But it's
Aerosmith B-side or something. Yeah,
yeah, throw like,
exactly.
No More, No More by Aerosmith. Throw that in there,
Right.
or something like that. Right. So it's kind of
Yes.
cool. Rob, what do you think of some of the older acts that are still singing and maybe they shouldn't be? I mean, I've seen some reviews on David Lee Roth. I heard he's just butchered
Mm.
it. I know Frankie Valli just retired, 91. A lot of people say they're lip syncing. They said Motley Crue was lip syncing. They said Kiss was lip syncing at the time. Bon Jovi
Mm.
just came back after 4 years of his voice. They said it's not the same anymore. Obviously, you get older. Do you think? I mean, but sometimes, what do you know? Look at the Stones; they still sound incredible. Their new album is
Yes.
great. What do you think of that?
Well, you get somebody like the Stones out there and they do an amazing job. How about this one? Ringo. How old is Ringo? He puts this all-star band out there and he just crushes it. So you get people like that, but you make a good point because I was talking to my lead singer Kate about this. It's like, you have all these bands that are trying to, because they love it, it's in their heart, and they live for it, it's their passion. And you're right, like how do you have David Lee Roth go out there? I mean, he's got backing players. And what I talked to uh, Kate about yesterday was there's a lot of bands that go out there and have backing tracks. They're
Yeah,
not musicians like you and I and Kate and the rest of the Generations band. They are just they're just maybe there's four people, they have a horn section playing, but there's
yeah,
there's a guitar, bass, and drums, and a
yeah.
lead singer. So I don't think that's the right thing to do. I mean, if you want to do that, go to karaoke, in my opinion. But if you want to see real musicians like your
Yeah.
band or our band, you got to have people that play the instrument. It's their craft. I'm thinking that if Ringo can still do it at, what is he, 86 or something like that, and
Yeah.
the Stones could still do it, we could do it, right?
No, I agree, and we use tracks too. But what I'm trying
Do
to
you?
say is, uh, do you really think the people give a shit in the
I think
audience?
some of the people just want, and I didn't mean to offend you with your
No,
tracks.
no, no.
I
But I'm
think
saying when the people
that
are at a festival and they're, yeah, this is great. Do they go, wow? They don't have a horn section in that song, but the band sounds great. You know what I
that's a
mean?
good
Or
point. Yeah, it's a good point.
ELO
And
has
it
been
just
using tracks for, well, ELO used
that's
tracks for
true.
years. Back in
Well,
the day.
remember the Who. What's the biggest track that the Who does? Like they
Yeah.
they do. We won't get fooled again. Bob
Yeah.
O'Reilly. Those are tracks
Right.
way
Yeah.
back. So I'm not discounting that. What I'm saying is that if you only have to rely on that, what happens to the musicians? And so I think to your point, it's a good point. People just want to hear the songs. You're 100% correct. They definitely want to hear the songs.
Correct.
But if
Yeah.
you could pull it off with a full band, we have an 8-piece band. Okay. Everybody
Yeah.
in our band has their own role. We have 2 guitars, a bass, keyboardist. We have 2 singers. We have a percussionist and a drummer. And that's how we pull it off.
And you know what? That's great. And it works for everybody. And you know what? Some people who bitch about it are usually the ones that are not working. The musicians that are not working, they're the ones that usually bitch. Well, they're using tracks. But you know what? I mean, I've seen so many acts using tracks. It's almost like the band. Here's another thing that people don't like, or maybe they do. The musicians who have their little iPad in front of them.
Yeah, that's true.
With the
That
lyrics.
they can't remember the lyrics.
99% of the bands I've seen have those live on stage, whether it's the lyric, whether it's the chords of the song. So people can say, you know what I mean? But I don't think the people really care. I think if you're giving them a good time and they're having, and I think they're happy. And I think that really makes a good deal on that. Good points. What about this? What about the band? I forgot the name of the band right now. There was a story that came out about 6 months ago or maybe a year ago. There was a great song out there. It's fantastic. And the name of the band, I forgot what it was, but they were looking for when the band is playing live, and they couldn't find any live dates because there's no such band. AI created this band.
Let's talk about AI. Yes, let's talk
now,
about
Rob,
AI.
you know a lot about the AI stuff. I think that's going to be the future. What's going to happen to the bands, the real musicians?
Yeah, and we were having that conversation, within the Illinois Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum, because I believe that there's a place for AI. AI will not replace people. It's a tool. When the internet came out, think about this, back when the internet came out. Did you think that, oh my God, the internet came out and now all our songs are going to be trashed or whatever? No, it's a tool. And the sad thing is if you have to rely on AI to create your lyrics and to create all the songs and, and all this stuff, I mean, that is sad. There's an AI person. If you look at her online, I think her name is Mila, and she looks like a real person. She sings, and you got to do a double take because she's like signing albums, but it's all AI. It's entertainment. That is not. I don't feel that the pure musicians and the people that go see the pure musicians, that AI is going to take over that. I just think it's like parallel paths. You use AI for certain things, and that's it. How do you feel about AI?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it can maybe enhance your project, even if you have a group and you're using certain things, that can help too. I agree with you. I just don't hope it doesn't take away, because if you look at like rock and roll, it almost seems like it's gone. Coming up of the bands, it's either pop, they're these boy band or these girls or whatever. I don't know. Rob, you're talking to the wrong guy. I haven't listened to the radio since it turned to grunge. Since grunge music came in, I stopped listening to the radio because to me that wasn't music, But generations.
I agree with you.
You go out and you do some great music with your band that you do. You got a charity coming up. Tell us a little bit about it. It's going to be October 23rd. It's called Music Will Organization. What's that about?
We have 3 charities. So on the 15th, it's Make-A-Wish Foundation at Roberts Westside, 15th of August. On the 26th of September, it's CYC Chicago Youth Centers. And on the 23rd, it's Music Will. So Music Will provides instruments for kids that cannot afford like musical instruments. They actually have classes through like Chicago Public Schools and other schools. Kate teaches in a different district than Chicago School. She teaches in Carol Stream. So it's really to help those kids that cannot afford a musical instrument, and then helps them through these music classes. So that's a cool one. Chicago Youth Centers is all about mentoring, and then Make-A-Wish Foundation is, you're providing a great opportunity for a kid who's going through some terrible situations in their life to have this fantasy or this wish. So 3 great charities, and even the Taste of Highwood, the charity goes back to the charities that Highwood invests in. So our band typically raises money for 501c3s, and we feel that people that are less fortunate, we want to pay it forward to the community. And a lot of people respond. They think it's a feel-good story. And that came right out of our sessions after Steve Albini produced us, at Electrical Audio. And he said, "Hey, Rob, let's do a vinyl album." He sent my tapes to Jack White from the White Stripes at Third Man Records. And that's how this whole train started running.
That's fantastic what you guys are doing. Generations ever going to put out some original material?
We do, on the album, the vinyl
that's
album.
The album.
That's original.
So the original stuff.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
yes.
See, that's really cool too. So does the Generation Originals
on the next one?
Oh yeah. The Generation Originals, do they sound anything like some of the rock and roll stuff? Is it based on this classic kind of rock stuff?
They were first written in '85, and what happened back then is, as you know, everything was on analog tape. And so at the end of my session, I was in a recording studio in Chicago. The engineer handed me 2 boxes, and he said, "Here's your songs." I said, "Victor, I'd like to listen to them." He said, "Yeah, they're in these boxes." I said, "Dude, I don't have a 2-inch reel-to-reel player sitting in my house." He goes, "You'll figure it out." And I walked away dejected. I was like, oh my God. I put them in a box, forgot about them all these years, and found them in my attic. And when I opened the box, it was like a musical time capsule. I asked a friend to connect me with somebody who could, number 1, restore these tapes, and 2, digitize them so I could listen to the songs. And that's when he connected me with Steve Albini. And for those that don't know, on your show, Steve Albini was the original producer for Nirvana. He produced the Foo Fighters, Cheap Trick, Page and Plan for Zeppelin. Guy was iconic. Terrible loss to the music industry when he passed away.
Absolutely. Well, that's fantastic stuff, and I'm glad you guys are doing some of the original music. Rob, they know about Generations, and let's talk a little briefly about the Illinois Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum, which you're part of, the museum. What a great thing if you guys ever get a chance to get out there and check out the history of the rock and roll music out of Chicago and the Midwest. I think we mentioned to people that were already in it. Who haven't you put in yet that you guys are thinking about putting in? What's any new nominations? Who are you going to be bringing in?
So I'll tell you a couple of people that you will know from the past who have been inducted into the Hall of Fame Museum. And by the way, before I start, Ron Romero wanted me to give you a big hello. He is the founder of the Illinois Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum, and he does such great jobs for our organization. He's our leader.
He does it. Please tell him hello. He's a great guy.
I will definitely pass that along to him. So people like Richard Marx, Smashing Pumpkins, Cheap Trick, REO Speedwagon, Chicago, Styx, they're all in our Rock and Roll Hall of Fame Museum, who is being inducted this year. And by the way, if you guys want to come out September 27th to the Harris Theater, downtown Chicago, in that Millennium Park, I believe it starts at 6 p.m. You could see these people get inducted. Some of them will be playing. There'll be, there'll be backstories on these folks. You'll want to come out. So the first one I think will be near and dear to your heart, American Breed. How about that one?
Bend me, shake me. Bend me, shake me. Love it.
Bend me, shake me. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So we got Coco Taylor. We have The Flock. My dear friend Freddie Glickstein, who played in The Flock. Curtis Mayfield, Survivor. The Boys from Illinois. Kevin Cronin. Our bands. And then we're actually going to induct Terry Hemmert from WXRT. So there's a lot of great, talented people out there. And you know what? If they have a music background in the state of Illinois, obviously they played for X amount of years. People can nominate them for the future Hall of Fame, events.
And I'm not quite sure if I know, maybe they are in there or not. One of my favorite bands that come out of Chicago was Pez Band. Are they nominated?
I
Are
don't
they
think,
in
no,
yet?
not yet,
Not yet.
not yet.
And
Yeah, I
maybe
don't
off
think they're in
Broadway,
yet.
get in there, maybe too,
Right.
would be kind of cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be kind
we'll
of
have to
cool
get
too.
Cliff in there.
Or don't
Yeah,
forget the
good,
great
good
band
guy.
from Zion, Illinois, Shoes.
The Shoes. Yes, I love
They're
those guys.
fantastic.
We
They had a
actually
bunch of
backed them
records.
up at Haymakers one year. Yeah, they're
Yeah, very
great,
good.
great band.
Great band.
Yes, yes,
All right.
yes.
So we got to check out, guys. Got to get out to the Illinois. We still got about 5 minutes left. One more question. Here are people, and if you might not know this, there's also the original Rock and Roll Hall of Fame out of Cleveland. I've been there a couple times. Cleveland, Ohio, home of my favorite rock band of all time, Eric Carmen and the Raspberries, which are not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But anyway, these bands are not in. And just, Rob, tell me why you think they're not. I'm just going to give you down the list. Iron Maiden, Smashing Pumpkins, B-52s. I don't know if they're really rock. Soundgarden, Devo, Bryan Adams, America, Asia, Badfinger, Blackfoot, Bachman Turner Overdrive, Blue Oyster Cult, Boston, Foghat, Dio, Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young. Now, some of these aren't really rock, but
right.
How can Iron Maiden not be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Right. And you didn't mention Jethro Tull. You didn't mention Grand Funk. You didn't mention the Guess Who.
Okay.
Right.
Why, Rob?
Yeah.
Why, Rob?
So I think that it's just interesting because if people get nominated to our Rock and Roll Hall of Fame museum, and I'm sure that there's a process that Cleveland goes through, and so some of the people that are in their rock and roll are not rock and roll. To your point, they could be rappers, they could be a different genre that are in there before. I mean, Jethro Tull, Boston, the Guess Who. I mean, how do you overlook those people? Iron Maiden, to your point. So I don't know their vetting process, to be honest with you. I know ours, and I don't know theirs, but it's a shame that those bands are not in there.
No, and I think some of the new members maybe of that organization, from what I'm hearing from people, like younger people coming in, some people just don't. But you have to look at, I mean, if you just took Bryan Adams alone, the hits this guy's had on rock radio for years and years and years and years. And then you said, like I said, Iron Maiden, it's just Crosby, Stills, and Nash, not a fan. Don't care much. I mean, some of their stuff, but the talent of those guys and the generation of songs, generations, no pun intended. Boston, thank God Cheap Trick got in. Thank God Cheap Trick got in.
Yeah.
With the fans got them in. But hey, we'll have to see what happens and who's going to be in the next one.
Yeah, I mean, I could certainly find out what their vetting process is and get back to you on that, because it's a very valid question that you're asking. And I could certainly send you what our vetting process is, and you can compare and contrast. I know we only have a minute or two left, but I have one last question for you. Then you could ask me a question. Favorite Beatle?
Oh, easy. John Winston Lennon. Number 2, Ringo Starr. Number 3, George Harrison. Number 4, Paul McCartney. Not a Paul fan at all.
Not a Paul fan.
John, how about you?
Hey, well, I am a Paul fan, so I don't mean to, but I would say
no, it's okay.
He's my favorite Beatle, and then next is Ringo, because I started out my career as a drummer, believe it or not. I play rhythm guitar now, but I think that Paul has done a lot of great things for the the music industry. I mean, there's another guy that's how old is that guy? He's playing, he's in his 80s. So, and I think Albert put a good comment. He said some acts are just being overlooked. Albert, I think you're right. It's a shame, that some of these acts are overlooked. But I want to thank you so much.
Albert, well, Rob, I want to thank you. First of all, Albert, of course, from the Ron Onesti organization. Double T, Tony Toto, what's up, brother? Great to see your name up there. Yeah, you know what? First of all, guys, we are coming to the end of the hour, and don't forget, you need to check out the Generations Band. Coming up July 19th, Taste of Highwood. August 15th will be at Roberts Westside Forest Park Festival. September 22nd will be at Dirty Nelly's in Palatine. And October 23rd, they got a big festival coming. I mean, a big charity event for Music Will. Bob, how do they get a hold of Generations if they want to find out where you guys are playing?
They can go on our website. It is www.thegenerationsmusic.com. And it'll have all of our shows on there. It will also have recordings of some of the previous shows, like at the Arcada and the Des Plaines Theater. Ron Onesti is a friend of mine as well as yours. And it'll have pictures of the band. It'll have our press kit. It will also have the charities that we do work for. So go to www.thegenerationsmusic.com.
And that's where you'll find Generations. Guys, before we go, birthdays for July 10th. Listen to this lineup. Nikola Tesla. Supposedly he was the one who invented electricity. Jessica Simpson turns 45. Warren Enter from the Grassroots, another great band from the 60s and 70s. Kelly McGillis from Top Gun, 69. Ed Ames, a great crooner. Stephen Perry, Journey, 77 years old. Alice Cooper, happy birthday, 75. Tony Iommi, Black Sabbath, 78 years old. Peter Gabriel, Genesis, 76 years old. Sofia Vergara, actress, 53. And Fred Gwynn. Remember Fred, of course, played Herman Munster.
Yes, Herman.
The great TV show, The Munsters. Herb, happy birthday to all you guys. Robert, thank you guys so much, guys. We got to go. But before we go, since you're there, let's just say thank you. I think Raffaello was on the show. I didn't see his name come up. We're talking about, he's the CEO of good friends, RC Ace Hardware. Buy local, shop local, helping neighbors be neighborhoods. Take advantage of the key program at all their stores. They program CareCut keys up to 50% less than the dealership. Visit the helpful hub to speak to a certified team member and download the Ace Rewards app. Easy way to keep track of your points, coupons, and special offers, and get $20 off any grill by saying grill your ace off. JRC Ace Hardware, buy local, shop local, helping neighbors before they were neighborhoods. Guys, tonight we'll be at Chicago Prime Steakhouse, 8 o'clock. Tomorrow we'll be at Ron Onesti's Club Arcada Speakeasy, 8:30 showtime. And Sunday we'll be at the Getaway in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin. That's 5:30. Guys, remember a couple things. Buy local, shop local, support local establishments, support live entertainment like Generations, and be kind to one another. It's a crazy world out there. It really is. If you're offended with anything you hear on this show, just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right. Doesn't mean we're right either. But thank God we still have a little thing called freedom of speech, and we can have a little fun in this hour. And if we can make you laugh, then we did our job. Again, Ringo Starr says peace and love, and we need it more than ever. Rob from Generations, check them out. We got to go, guys. Have a great week. I'll be back Monday, same time, same station. That's right. Nick Sahajas, the piano man, is going to take us out. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye, Rob. Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day.
Time to go. It's the end of the show. See you later from Tony.
God bless America, everybody. Have a great weekend. We got to go. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you. Woo-woo. On the side there. Cool, cool, cool.